Why is it that the NBA, they can't control their players? There's a players' union. You have Chris Paul not liking this and not liking that, and this guy not liking that and this. But, Kyrie Irving can say anti-Semitic views and spread his craziness all over social media, and you don't have LeBron James sticking up for anybody. You don't have Kawhi Leonard speaking up for that. As a matter of fact, him, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant, when they were asked about the whole anti-Semitic views, he said, let the guy, obviously he was suspended for 9 games, let the guy play. He apologized. Meanwhile, he came back when he was traded to Dallas, taking back everything that he said in the apologies. You didn't see Adam Silver step in and say, hey, you know what? You're taking back your apology, you're suspended for another 10 games. No, the NBA don't do that. Adam Silver don't do that. David Stern did it. David Stern was a guy that dropped the hammer on players. You do this, you're going to get suspended for 10 games. You do that, you're going to be suspended for 20. Now, if you get suspended by holding a gun and pointing a gun at people or pointing a gun on social media, you're only going to get 25 games. Hey, you want to carry a loaded gun? That's okay. Kids, you want to buy a gun? Go ask John Morant. He'll tell you where he bought it. It is ridiculous. And the NBA does not say anything about this. And now you look at Dame. I respect him. I do. I respect him as a player. I really, really do. I love Damian Lillard. I love him. I think he's a great, fantastic talent. But now he is telling all the teams that are interested in him that I only want to play for this team. And if you trade for me, I'm going to be very unhappy. This is a guy that's making $60 million a year. He's the highest paid player in NBA history. And that's why when you look at the NBA free agency market, it didn't really stand out. There were more better trades than there were in free agency because in the NBA now, these guys are getting extensions, bird rights, all these different things that they have set rules, and it's different. The NBA is completely different from the NHL, the NFL, and the MLB because there are no bird rights in any of those sports. But the NBA makes sure that these teams can control their players because of the whole Larry Bird thing when it happened.
Right. I think hockey's the only one that has like the offer sheet thing with restricted free agents, but that doesn't work with unrestricted free agents.
It all goes to the players.
Right.
And if I was an owner of an NBA team, I wouldn't be happy. Because if my best player decides, hey, you know what? I don't want to be here anymore. I can't stand this team. And I don't care. If you're not going to put players around me, you're not going to find players to play around me, I don't want to be here anymore. Trade me here. And there's only 2 teams I want to play to. I want to play for. And if you don't trade me to one of these 2 teams, I'm done. I will sit out the season, and I don't care. And no NBA GM or no NBA owner is going to sit there and say, I want my best player who I'm paying $40 million a year to, no matter what, is going to get that money where I'm going to allow him sitting out for the whole season. Because he still has to get paid. He's still going to get paid.
Right. Most of I think NBA contracts are, I want to say they're
guaranteed.
85 to 90% guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
So they have to force him out of there. They have to trade him. And that's what sucks about this. And that's why the new CBA, I don't know when the next CBA is, but I'm sure it's in the next 3 or 4 years. Whenever it is, if Adam Silver is still the commissioner, the ownership has to figure out how this could work more for the owners than it does for the players. I don't question what the players are making. The players, they're great players, and whatever they're worth with the new CBA and the new TV deals, if they're making 40, 50, 60, 70 million, let them make it. But they shouldn't be demanding on where they should play or where they should go. It shouldn't happen like that, especially with the money these guys are making. Listen, you pay me $5 million. There are players on the bench right now in the NBA that don't step on the court more than 5 minutes in a season, and they're making $5 million a year. If you want to pay me $5 million a year, I'll sit on the bench and make jokes. And this was never going on in the NBA in the 90s or the 80s because every player on those teams hated each other. They absolutely despised each other. Come on. Do you think Ron Artest in the early 2000s would play for Detroit? Push his way out of Indiana to go play for Detroit? Do you think Detroit would have taken Ron Artest as a player on their team after what happened at the Palace?